Hi there, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another Unmuted. What an interesting guest we have today. John Ladd is a rancher right there on the Arizona-Mexico border. And when I went to the border this past week, I had the opportunity to talk with John to see where his ranch lies on that border. He's got about a 10-mile spread of ranch along that border. So John, thanks for taking the time to join us for Unmuted today. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me.
Oh, absolutely. Now, your family has been ranching on this land for 125 years. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're like the third or fourth generation to ranch.
I'm fourth. My boys and their kids, we got 6 generations on the ranch.
And then what have you seen change since President Biden was elected? How has that affected your ranch?
Well, it immediately when he got elected, we had 100% increase in the traffic. When Donald Trump was president, it was tolerable. We maybe 20 a month, and now we're getting about 50 a day. It just immediate response to what Biden said about amnesty. That's what started it.
Okay, and so it picked up after the election in November and is continuing with that kind of traffic on your ranch. What are your safety concerns? Because you've got children, you've got little kids on that ranch.
Well, my dad's 95, and my wife. It just goes back to where you have to pay attention to everything you do, even around your house. One thing being on the ranch, but you don't know what kind of people are coming, and that's the way it's always been on the border. It's just not people coming to better their lives and work in America. We've got a lot of criminal activity coming across that border, and it's back to the same deal. We don't know who's coming across the border.
Well, one of the things when I was down there to talk with you and Sheriff Daniels and Sheriff Lamb, one of the things that really made an impression on me was the way you all talked about the cartels are running that Mexican side of the border, and nobody is coming through unless they're coming through the cartels. And the way the cartels have really grown or sophisticated their operation is just astounding to me. So how have you seen that impact with people that are running through your ranch, coming through your ranch? How have you seen the impact of the cartels in your area, in your community, and on your ranch?
Well, the number one, that they have scouts wherever they can monitor the activity from Border Patrol and local law enforcement anywhere near the border. Secondly, it's a very sophisticated operation with the human smuggling. Different division, you got the drug smugglers and the human smugglers. On the human side of it is they make the illegals buy a full set of camo. They have balaclavas and the carpet shoes, the booties, and then they give them a cell phone. And that cell phone is how they're guiding them from the border to the highway to get loaded up. And you cannot get across the border unless you go through the cartel. Once they're in the U.S., they're still being directed by the cartel with the load vehicle, their destination, whether it's in Arizona or anywhere in the country. But this network is completely similar to the drug network of the freeways, the highways. And basically what it's done is that if there's a highway 3 miles from the border, like where we were at the other day, well, that's the border now. It isn't the international boundary, it's the highway system in Arizona and in Mexico. That's the convenience and the cooperation they get for transportation.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that I was struck by is how on different mountains they have set up these outposts for their scouts or their spies to
Yep.
actually surveil people like you who live and work on the border, and you can be out ranching and they're surveilling you to see where you and your crew are working and where they can go run, so that they know where you are or where law enforcement or border patrol is working. But they're very sophisticated in that surveillance.
Yes, ma'am. That, you know, they were watching us when we were up there the other day. If you had had a pair of field glasses, you could have seen them. But you know, they were within a quarter of a mile of us, and that's been going on. You know, Trump's administration got that handled a little bit. President Trump's 4 years had a bigger positive impact on what came across that border than anybody in my lifetime, and it was a relief. And basically a relief is that, you know, finally we're getting something done, and then overnight we're set back 20 years where we're at today on immigration, and that's frustrating. That we're not giving up, but we were on the right path, I'll tell you that.
Well, and I would imagine, I know that you serve as vice president of the Arizona Cattle Growers Association. Are the other ranchers that you deal with, are they having the similar experience that you are?
Oh, absolutely. And we have a border committee in the Arizona Cattle Growers, and it's worse west of us, over around Nogales and Sassabee. They have a lot more traffic than I'm experiencing right now, and it's a little bit more mountainous country. But east of me towards Douglas, I talked to a rancher over there this morning, and they're getting people back at their house again. They had 9 people at their house yesterday, and they Border Patrol came, but it took them about 30 minutes to get out there, and because they're overwhelmed with the other traffic coming around the border, just going through the mountains or anywhere else. And that's what has overwhelmed all of our law enforcement, including Border Patrol.
Yeah. Well, it does make for a very difficult situation. And I know Cochise County has great surveillance and technology that they're using. And we would hope that all of those border counties can soon have access to that technology. Well, John, I'm glad y'all are getting some rain out in Arizona today, and we certainly wish you all well and hope that you stay safe and that soon you'll be able to return to your regular activities there, that the kids will be able to play outside without somebody worrying, that they can go ride those horses without having to have somebody with them to protect them. So thank you so much for joining us for Unmuted. Everyone, you can follow me at blackburn.senate.gov or on social media at Marsha Blackburn. Thanks so much for joining us today. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.